Hi everybody and welcome to today's webinar, RapidiOnline, for integrating Microsoft Dynamics NAV and Salesforce.com. Today on the webinar we have myself, Michael Buck, and we also have with us Rapida Thompson, who will handle all the things in the background, ensure that everything is running as smoothly as possible. If you have any questions, feel free to put them out in the questions section, and throughout the webinar we will try to either answer the questions from the question sections, or we'll at the end we'll read up the questions from there. We'll have a few polls now and then to be sure that we direct the contents of the webinar to the people that are on the webinar. So I think we'll start out with a small poll to find out if you're kind of technical or not. Okay, we'll continue. Today we'll start out by talking a little bit about who we are, who is RapidiOnline, about what solutions we have, and thereby also which databases and systems that we support for the data integration. And then we'll dive into a live demo of integrating Salesforce.com with Microsoft Dynamics NAV. We'll talk a little bit about some customer stories. We'll see a little bit on our pricing, and then at the end we'll do some questions and answers. So RapidiOnline is a software development company, or rather service development company. So we are focusing totally on developing services for data integration. We started out back in 1992, so actually a bit more than 15 years, and we developed the first data integration product. And yeah, later on we extended everything and with support for a number of different databases and systems and so on. We strive both with the first products that we made to make the data integration as easy as possible. That is building in features, building in things so that it's that you can set it up easily, but at the same time, if you specify a little bit more, then you can really accomplish some complicated tasks also. With the latest, or not the latest, but with the addition of bringing everything on demand as opposed to on-premise installed at the customer. This is on demand, where we are running the integration. There we brought down the installation and setup time quite drastically, because now we are able to start up a new customer or a trial in just 1 to 2 hours. We do it via the web using some web sessions like the presentation here, and then we guide the customer through how to set up the different things and get started actually transferring data between Navision and Salesforce within just 1 to 2 hours. So we have a number of different solutions all within data integration. First group is everything that integrates Salesforce.com with other systems, and then we have some predefined solutions also, both Dynamics NAV and Dynamics X, and C5, which is a Nordic product, and then we have support for Microsoft Dynamics CRM, where we also actually not only with Navision but also with Axapta and C5. We have some support for solutions in the retail sector, where we integrate Microsoft Dynamics Retail Manager with Navision, and also some of our partners are using Microsoft Dynamics NAV on the tills out in the stores, so they're actually transferring data from the stores and into a central NAV, so it's Navision to Navision. That's also retail sector, but that's actually based on the product that we call Replicator 5.0, which is integration between several Navision systems. Replicator 4.0 is a little bit older product, which is installed on-premise at the customer, but basically doing the same as Replicator 5.0, but just as an on-premise product. Then we have a more generic version of our integration, where you can actually integrate between any 2 or more systems that we support. And going on to that, we have support for quite a number of different systems and also databases. On the left, you see more the Microsoft Dynamics suite of products, both recent version but also older version of Navision and Axapta, the older version XAL. So there are a number of different products that we support. On the right side, you see our more generic support for different database systems like Oracle, both on Windows and also on Unix platform. Same for DB2. DB2 also on iSeries, SQL database, and so on. Yeah, we'll just pause for a small poll so that you don't fall asleep. Okay, I see that we have a high degree of knowledge of Salesforce.com here, so that's very good. Okay, when we have a central system like Salesforce.com and we are hosted service like ours, it's easy enough to connect to that. But how do we actually connect to a local database like Microsoft Dynamics Navision? That is done through technology that we call the Rapida Connector. It's a Windows service that is installed on one of the servers at the client, at the customer, and it facilitates the connection to the Navision, so that you don't have to open up your network to the outside. You can the Rapida Connector will connect in the outbound direction only and up to our service, so you don't have to open up your firewalls or anything like that. This connection that the Rapida Connector will establish, that will be used for two-way transfer of data to and from Navision. So it's very easy to get it set up like this, because we can just direct you as a customer through the installation of this, and takes like 15 minutes, and then from our central you yourself also can get access to the data in Navision, both for reading and for writing data into Navision. So now to the more exciting part, the demo. First, I'll show you, we have Navision here, and there I have one of the good old demo accounts, Selangorian, and then I have over here, I have my Salesforce demo account, where I have the same account created. So what I'll do is simply go to Navision. I'll just change the road here, put in a couple of X's, and then in order to see the integration work, I'll just manually run the transfer here that we set up to update addresses from Navision to Salesforce. So this one is set up so that it only takes the changes in Navision. It uses a timestamp inside Navision to detect what has been changed from run to run, and so it will only read the one record that I actually changed, and it will here update one in Salesforce. I'll jump over into Salesforce and refresh the page, and we should see the change come through here, number of X's. So that said, this will normally run in the background, so nobody has to go and click something, and the systems would be integrated in a seamless way. Okay, we do, as a standard, we integrate a number of different things between Salesforce and Navision. And in addition to these standard or predefined setup, it's very easy to go and change some of the setup, to add fields or even to add new tables to it. I'll show you, jump back into Rapida and show you a little bit about what the setup is and the possibilities, just to give you an idea at least. Here we have this transfer, taking customer information to accounts in Salesforce, and you select basically on each transfer, you select the source, in this case Navision, and you select the destination, in this case Salesforce. Then you select the source table and a destination table, and actually I can just go in, because when you do the selections here, when you start typing, it will do a lookup in the layout that you have in the system and show you everything that matches what you typed. So it's very easy to select here. The same goes for Navision. It will show you everything with customer in, so you can select the right table to move data in and out. On the right side here, well, you enable the transfer, and you can say what you want the transfer to do. Should it update existing? Should it also add new ones? Should it delete some that are not in the source anymore? And so on. A lot of different possibilities. Down here on the source control, we have some possibilities That was what I was talking about before, the timestamp that tells if something in Navision has been changed, and it will only look at the changes in this way. And we'll keep track of everything that we have transferred, so that if there's a failure in a transfer, we'll roll back, we'll do a rollback of the data, and next time the schedule will automatically retry and transfer the same records again. So we ensure that everything gets transferred eventually. If we go on, what we also set up is a link. We have added a field to Navision called external ID, where we store the ID that is used inside Salesforce, because this ID is a unique identifier of the account, and we use that instead of the Navision customer number, because the Navision customer number can actually be renamed inside Navision, and if you did that, you would lose the connection between the two systems. So we settled down on using the unique identifier from Salesforce to bind the systems together. And the next thing here is the field list. So that is actually telling what fields goes from Navision into what field in Salesforce. If we go into edit mode, I'll just show you how easy it is to add an extra field. Here we go. Press new, and something like the is it called home page, I think. No, yeah, exactly, home page, and I think it's something with website, yes, inside Salesforce. So that's it. Now it's added and it's ready to be transferred with the next transfer, or the next time you run it. You can set up a lot of different things here, and I won't go into detail with all this, but basically you can filter on what you transfer, so you only take customers from a specific group, or a lot of different possibilities. I'll jump back into Salesforce to show you a little bit more about what we transfer normally, at least. We transfer normally the basic customer information, and then we also have a possibility. We add a couple of extra objects to Salesforce. One of them we call sales history, and that is actually meant to hold all the booked invoices, all the invoices from Navision, and actually credit memos also to complete the view of the customer. So under each account you'll see everything that you sold to them, and I can drill in and I can see all the address information, shipping address, different information on the invoice, amounts of course, and also the amounts in local currency. So if you are selling in this one is I think there's no currency here, so that will be US dollar in, because it's American Navision that I'm running. So it's the same amount in US dollars and in local currency, but if you are selling in another currency, you would see the amount here translated into your local currency. And you see the invoice lines, so you see exactly what you sold them. So this can be used both just to have an overview, but it is also very handy for making reports and dashboards inside Salesforce.com. So here you have all the data that you need to really drill down across customers, but also across products, or total up per product for all customers or for groups of customers. So really a lot of possibilities. What we also transfer is, I'll just jump back here, or can transfer at least, is ledger entries, customer ledger entries. So again here, typically everything on the account. This, actually I won't go into these, but rather show you what this means to the account. Because that means that on the account itself we can have some roll-up summary fields that tells us the current balance, and that tells us, for example, total sales or total sales a specific year. The current balance is a lot bigger than these numbers out here, and that is, if we look at it, if we look at the ledger entries, it's actually because there is a number of opening entries here that counts against the balance, but that are not counting against the sales. Okay. We also have some predefined transfers to transfer all the orders from Navision. This is handy if you are doing production, or production to orders, so that you take in orders and you maybe deliver them 2, 3, 4 months later. Then it's very handy for the salespeople to be able to see exactly what do we have in order on a specific customer and what is the status of these orders. Okay, I will jump back into the presentation. Here we have a summary of the different things that we transfer forward and back. So customer accounts in both directions, items and prices on these items to Salesforce. So normally you maintain them in Navision and you have them updated automatically in Salesforce. Then the booked invoices over into the sales history module that we can add to Salesforce. And here we have another one, which is the opportunity. If you enter opportunities with lines and everything in Salesforce, we can transfer them back into a sales order inside Navision. But some do not enter opportunities in these details in Salesforce, but rather do all the order handling inside Navision. So for these people, it's nice to have the orders transferred to Salesforce. It depends on your business, basically. Yeah, this was a couple of screenshots of the sales history. So just skip a little bit faster over these. Okay. A couple of customers that we worked with. Derrick Rose is an English, UK-based company, and basically they had a need to be able to see all the data from Navision wherever they were. So you could have set up a portal on Navision and made some mobile device access to Navision. Instead, they settled down on using Salesforce as kind of a front end to Navision, and use the mobile access that Salesforce has. And that worked very well for them. And also both this and the reporting, to be able to easily create reports in Salesforce based on all the data they have in their NAV. So what we do there is basically transfer all the invoices, all the orders, because they produce orders or produce 2 orders. So we transfer all that into Salesforce, and that gives them a very good overview of their business, no matter if they're on a trade show, on the road, or whatever. Another one called NetUp. It's a Danish-based company, but with subsidiaries in a lot of different companies, or a lot of different countries. And they basically needed their Navision integrated with Salesforce, and they were kind of in the middle of upgrading Navision. So it was very important for them that we supported many different versions of Navision also. So they started out, I think, on Navision 3.7, and they were in the process of upgrading to 5.0 or 5.1, and at some time when they are running with the integration a little bit, they switched Navision and continued to use it on a newer version of Navision, and very smoothly actually, because we support all the different versions, and it's the only changes that you actually have to make is if there's some field names or table names that actually change in the Navision versions, then you have to change them in the integration also. But technically we can just switch from one to the other in a few minutes. Another one is Milestones, also a Danish-based company that is they're making software, producing and selling software for video surveillance. So taking video streams and analyzing these and creating alerts if there are movements in some rooms that where you shouldn't have any movement at that time at least. So they will create an alert maybe and send out a warning or mail or pager call or something like that. Then we actually integrating 3 different things. So Navision and the Salesforce and a web shop system that is based on a SQL database. So they don't enter opportunities into Salesforce, at least not in detail, also not with products on and everything, but rather they keep track of all their dealers, all their partners inside Salesforce. And the partners, they enter orders into their web shop. We then send these orders from the web shop to their Navision, where they get booked and shipped and everything. And from Navision, we transfer the data over into Salesforce so that it's visible in Salesforce what they sell or what they sold to different partners. So this is this is from Milestone, what I think about our service. A number of other customers that are using RapidiOnline. Not all of them is Salesforce Navision, but it's different combinations. Can be Salesforce to Navision, Salesforce Acceptor, or it can also be Iman, for example. That's a solution where they integrate data from their warehouse, which which is running on an older Navision, and then a Navision 5 that they are running locally. So they transfer the data using, this is actually the product called Replicator 5.0. If we have a look at the pricing, our pricing is divided into 3 product editions. We have a light version, a standard version, and advanced version. Basically, in the light version, you can only transfer product and accounts, customers, and price lists. So it's limited in the number of objects that are supported. If you go into the standard version, you can transfer any object that you wish. And if you go into the advanced version, you can also transfer any object that you wish, but in addition to this, the customer can also access the setup application. So that means that not only we or a partner can do the setup, but the customer can also do the setup themselves, change, add fields, etc. One other difference is that in the advanced version you have access to event-triggered updates. For example, inside Salesforce you can have a workflow rule that, for example, triggers when an opportunity changes status to closed. So when an opportunity changes the status to closed, this workflow rule could send a message to our service that now it's time to transfer opportunity or this opportunity to Navision because it has been closed, so one at least, and then it has to be transferred into Navision as an order in Navision and be processed there. So that is possible with the advanced version. Then the price of the service depends not only on the version but also on the volume of data that you actually send forward and back. So we have a number of different volume classes: small volume, medium volume, large volume, and there, depending on how much data you actually send forward and back, you'll be in one or the other volume class. Basically, what we ask is that the customer tells us how much data they're actually sending forward and back, how many invoices they have per month, how many invoice lines on these invoices, and then we calculate that all together and see in which volume class they end up. This is pricing in US dollars. I'll just skip over that. So basically, why should you use RapidiOnline? We have a very large Microsoft Dynamics experience and also good experience with Salesforce. We're actually using Salesforce internally also. And then last but not least, that it's very easy to achieve a good integration between the products with RapidiOnline. Very easy and very time cost effective. We offer a 30-day free trial, so if you have any doubt if this should work, we're very happy if you will try out the product before actually buying it. And during the trial, we will do what we can to help you get it running the way that you would like it to. Question time. So please feel free to write some questions in the question section. Anybody having any questions? One question is again with the connection to RapidiOnline, or rather to the local Navision. What that required locally, or where you could install it, and basically it can be installed on the either on the Navision server itself or on an application server. Which is best depend a little bit on what you're running. If you're running on SQL and you have a lot of users on Navision, we recommend doing the installation on an application server and not directly on the SQL server. If you're running a relatively small Navision installation on a native database, it would be just fine to install it on the Navision server itself. I hope that answered the question. And another one is regarding another question. It is regarding how we access Navision. The question is that we had on this opportunity to Navision orders, we had mentioned that you needed the Navision application server, and we have two different ways of accessing Navision. The one that we always use is cFront, which is a database level access to Navision. It's actually the same as the Navision client is using, and it's very stable and very fast. So that way of accessing Navision we basically always use. Then secondarily, we have a possibility to access Navision through what is called the Navision application server, or NAS. And that is a way where you access Navision through an application server where it's actually running inside Navision. The code is running inside Navision. And this gives the advantage that all the post-processing code in Navision is running as you enter the data, as the data transferred into Navision. And all the rules and things that are defined there, that's actually running at the same time. If you're using the cFront interface, it's more database level interface, so there the post-processing code is not running at the same time. So for specific tasks like entering an order into Navision, where there's actually a lot of information that is fetched from different other tables, not only the order table, but booking groups, customer information, product information is all gathered together on the order itself. So in this case, it's very handy to enter orders through the Navision application server, because then the Navision application server would fetch all that data, and you just have to enter a few fields, transfer few fields from Salesforce. But for many other things, like updating customer addresses, like transferring product items and prices, it's a lot better and more stable to use the C-front interface. So it's only, as we always use C-front, so that is definitely required, but the Navision application server is only used for very specific tasks, and it's something that we always go in and have a look at the specific needs, and then we recommend either to use it or not to use it. I hope that answered the question. Okay. Good. Any more questions? Seems not to be the case, so I'll thank you very much for attending this web session, and I hope you'll fill in the survey at the end of the session, and have a very good weekend. Thank you. Bye.